Wow, what's up? Hello, welcome to an SC2 cast. Today I'm just gonna be casting a game I played on ladder a couple of days ago. So in the upper part of Dusk Towers, let's get the professional camera operation going. We got our Terran player, IshootLaser. Yeah, and down here in the bottom, me. Yeah. So, I think this game was pretty crazy. Hopefully, you all agree. Right off the bat, we see Terran going for a very quick gas and putting down a barracks after that. I'm not gonna claim that I'm a good caster. I don't claim that I have any casting skill whatsoever. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. I'm just doing this to provide some kind of entertainment rather than uploading just a VOD from one perspective of the replay. So, mute my ass if you think I'm retarded and need to shut the fuck up. I sometimes think that same thing. So, I went for the early hatchery and gas pull. I think it's like the timings are 17, 17, 18, something like that. Terran gets his barracks down, gonna start the Reaper very quickly, and should be starting a command center soon. Yep, there it is. Now we're gonna have to see what he does with that early gas that he took. Maybe just a very early factory? Yep, there we go, the factory gets put down. I'm gonna see if I could pretend to not know what's going on in this game. I'm gonna see if I could pretend to be hype. I could see if I could pretend that I don't know what I'm doing either. So, in order to facilitate that, I will just refer to myself as the Zerg. From time to time, we'll just refer to each other, or to the players as Zerg and Terran. See the Reaper moving across the map now, trying to come in for some aggression. The Zergling's already out to try to deal with any harass that the Reaper will try to put down. Looks like it will just be pushed off. So let's see what's happening back at the main. Terran's making the making the reactor on the barracks, gonna swap it off immediately for some very early Hellion production probably. Yep, and we do have the double Hellion going. And a starport put down immediately after the factory has finished. Natural base just sort of finished over in the Terran side. And here, for me, the Zerg, we see not too many drones here at the natural. But we do have an extractor going down and two more in the main, as well as a lair mutating and a baneling nest going down. We'll have to see if that develops into anything. Maybe get a Reaper here. Nope. Sending out Zerglings initially probably to try to run across the map to scout, catches the Hellions and the Reaper out in the middle of the map, but nothing will come of that. More Hellions, not Reapers, being added onto the onto the army, and even more Hellions in production. Decent surround for a second there, but the Zerglings are just going to be shot down. We'll have to see if this group of Hellions and the Reaper will be able to do anything. A lot of the links go down by the Hellion shots, and Queen being able to thwart most of the Hellions and the Reaper off. Terran doesn't really want to try to push too hard past that in any general situation, because if you do manage to make it up this ramp, it's much easier to get a surround with any hatching lings that are coming from hatcheries. So this little group of Hellions and the Reaper will prove to continue to be a little annoying. Do have a Liberator moving across the map here, probably gonna go for some harass behind the mineral line here. And more Hellions being streamed across the map, and a little one Marine. We do see Terran is trying to expand behind us, and Liberator setup very quickly reacted to, though. It's only gonna get one drone kill off of that. But now the drones are out of position. Terran's trying to push onto the creep. Gonna be able to take down a creep tumor and maybe get a free queen here. Uh-oh, that queen is going down. No micro on the queen. Let's see if the Zerglings can properly deal with this army here. One Hellion does go down. Now the drones that were pulled out of position from the Liberator are getting shot down by the Hellions. Not looking good right now for the Zerg player, me. More drones going down. The Hellions gonna try to sneak around, make sure that I have that base, sees that it is being taken, but now is surprised by the Mutalisks that pop out, which are actually very quick. Not too much being made back at the home base of Terran. Does finally get that third command center down. The Liberator Liberator over on this side will get taken down by the Mutas. And now I have map control. Probably gonna be able to run in with the Mutalisks and do quite a bit of damage. The biggest reason why Terran doesn't want to lose those early Hellions and Reaper and Marines and all that is because that is a bulk of your army early game. Losing that can cost you quite a bit. So you do see some poking and prodding with the Mutalisks. Back off as soon as the Liberators are spotted. Uh-oh, and he's predicting movement over into the natural over there. So 2 Liberators with this army of Marines and the siege tank. Quite a small paltry army compared to how much value of Mutalisks is in the sky. So Mutalisks will be able to get quite a bit of damage done right now. Gonna be poking around, doing some damage to the refinery, killing some SCVs and whatnot. Ooh, getting a good pick off on that turret that was just about to go down. In the meantime, pure drone production and adding on Mutalisks with all the gas that's being mined because of the very early refineries. Terran finally pushing out to try to take that third base after having the command center in his main for quite a while. Going to have to see if the Zerg can do any damage with these Mutalisks. Uh-oh. Taking quite a few shots from the Liberators in the sky. Going to kill quite a few Marines though. And we'll just have to see. Uh-oh. Zerg realizes he has just way more stuff than the Terran in this position. Gonna go ahead and take out all the Liberators and all the Marines. Not looking good at all for the Terran player in terms of the army front. But he will thwart the Mutalisks with the Marines that are coming in from the main base production. Back at the Zerg base, not too many drones over here on that natural or the third here, but we'll be putting down a 4th base very soon. And adding on quite a couple of Zerglings, probably because you did see that Terran did not have a huge army behind that defense over at the third. And Mutas are continually being added on to this flock here. Terran did scan, I have no idea where, I just heard the sound effect. There it is. Scan the natural, not really seeing anything. Zerg getting double upgrades off of the evolution chambers. Terran also getting double upgrades. Well, not double upgrades. Yeah, double upgrades. Engineering bays are just in weird positions. But is kind of holed up into his main, or into his bases in general. Has to defend against any kind of weird Mutalisks harass that might be going down. Unless actually, I know it's like quite a while back where the Hellion Harass has happened, but let's go ahead and check. Ooh, Terran has killed off 17 workers in that attack. So, in terms of economy, Terran is looking very, very happy right about now. Uh-oh, and quite a few medevacs getting taken down when they're out of position, but a good Widowmine hit does push the Mutos away. Terran is going to start to move out with his huge army here, but Zerg has his army set up. Uh-oh, will Zerg get the surround that he needs? A lot of Zerglings gonna die initially for free. Zerglings and Banelings rolling around from the back. Are they going to be able to push past that Thor and get good hits onto the Marines? Marines are on the other side of the wall, and now there are no more Banelings in the army. Zerglings going to continue to push forward, deciding that the main army is going to be too much to deal with. So we do see all the Marines and the Widowmines pushing forward, gonna be able to take down this base. Only 2 medevacs with that main army though, so those Marines are going to be very, very low in health. Probably going to be dealt with very easily. But back at the Terran main base, we do see a lot of SCVs being taken down with those links that got split from the main army. Let's see how the main army is doing here for the Terran. Looks like everything gets taken down from the main army, all of the Marines and the Liberators. A couple of Zerglings and SCVs were left behind, but they all are gone now. If we look at the workers killed, now it's kind of evened out between both the Zerg and the Terran. Not as much damage done with that counterattack as the Zerg would have liked, but any damage is good damage right about now. Do have those annoying Widowmines sitting there dealing a lot of damage. 3 kills on one kill on the other. Let's see if they have the ability to rack up anymore. And the Mutalist flock is dwindled down to a mere 3 Mutalists, or 4, I can't even count. Terran has an entire other army. Wonder if he will be pushing up further in order to try and put more pressure on the Zerg. Do see him pushing forward with the huge Marine ball. Those Widowmines do get taken care of, but Widowmines back here are being burrowed. Terran's pushing through this small narrow choke to try to kite Zerg through and force Zerg to take a really bad engagement where a lot of Widowmines get good shots off. Forgive me, I just had to switch off something really quick. More Terran army being streamed across the map. A Thor being added onto the army here. Ooh, Mutalist looking for a couple Marines to pick off. Managed to end up getting shot real hard by the Widowmines. Uh-oh, and here comes the engage. Bunch of Widowmines go off. Not too many good hits, to be honest. Do have quite a small amount of Banelings with this army, but the Zerglings are going to be able to deal with a lot of the Marines as they split off. And it looks like Terran will be able to hold this army together just barely. A bunch of them injured from the stim, but Zerg is continuing to make more and more Zerglings. Does have 3 Ultralists now on the way. Going to be able to deal with this army very, very easily once the Ultralists come out, but will continue to yet lose that 3rd again. So now the economy situation is looking pretty bad for Zerg. If we go back to the Terran main base, he is putting down yet another command center. Will be expanding to a 4th very soon. Going to be picking this location for the 4th. Now Terran setting setting up for a Catane right outside Zerg's natural, but the Ultralists are out, so we will have to see whether or not Zerg is going to push out now that the Ultralists are out to try to take an engage. Terran scans, Zerg sees that, will just push forward with the Ultralists. Ooh, really good Baneling hits, and the Ultralists and Banelings, Zerglings, and Mutalists will be able to clean up this army from Terran with no difficulty whatsoever. The Ultralisk continuing to push forward and slice up a couple of Marines, but Terran will just pick up and fly away. Zerg now setting sights toward this 4th base. Ooh, and Terran will have to lift off. Both players being forced onto a 3-base economy from the plays of the other. Terran continuing to mass up the little Thor Marine Ball. Thors to be able to deal with the Mutalisks effectively and keep them from poking in and picking off free Marines, and Marines being the bulk of the army. So Zerg is gonna set up here, make a couple of Banelings, and have the Zerglings and Ultralisks ready for a frontal attack. Let's see if anything as such happens. Uh-oh, the Mutalisks trying to sweep in and poke in, see if there's any vulnerability in the army, but will not be getting anything. Going into the main base, oh, taking a Widowmine shot, but taking down a turret in exchange. And Zerg is going to deny Terran from putting down that 4th base. Oh, and all the SCVs here are trapped and down. So now that Zerg and Terran have been pushed off of their 4th bases forever, Zerg finally seems that he's in a position able to take a 4th of his own. We see that 4th on the left side of the map getting put up. Liberator sieging up in order to be able to deal with any Ultralisks that walk into that zone. Seems that at this point in the game, Terran will continue to make some more of the the big one-shot damage units, such as Liberators and Widowmines, in order to more effectively deal with the Ultralisks that are going to be streaming in. Another engagement about to happen. Uh-oh. The Ultralisks going to try and take down the 4th base over there. All of the Mutalisks, ooh, a lot of them actually die. But the huge amount of SCVs that were at that 4th do go down. The Terran does manage to hold off the rest of that Zerg army though. And if we look at the income right now, Zerg is up a whole 34 harvesters. How can Terran come back from this position? Well, we'll just have to see. There's a lot of mules being dropped down in that 4th, helping to catch up in the income disparity, but unfortunately maybe too little too late. We do see two medevacs full of Marines and Marauders flying across the map. At the same time, Zerg's army is out of position to be able to deal with that drop, so we'll have to see if Zerg just decides to cut losses and go straight in for the attack, try to deal the killing blow, or will Zerg pull back and try to deal with this army. This army is going to go down to that 5th base, gonna see if we could take down the base, and it seems that nothing is in position to be able to deal with this army. That 5th base is going to go down. Abandons a Marine. Unfortunately, little Marine, you will be missed. And he does pick off quite a few drones over there, but we do see Zerg having his army split off across this entire screen, looking to be taking the best engagement that he can. We'll just have to see how it pans out. Uh-oh, and now we see the Zerglings, Banelings, and Ultralisks moving forward. A lot of... Ooh, that was a really big hit. Uh-oh. All the Ultralisks are being shot down by those Liberators. Last Ultralisk still alive. That Planetary Fortress just barely managing to stay alive. Couple of residual Zerglings and Banelings going to be moving up to that 3rd, but there are no SCVs to be spoken of there. And more Zerglings and Banelings going to be going down from the Widowmines. The little trio of Banelings trying to be sneaky there do get shot down by that Planetary Fortress. And more mules are going to be dropped in order to even up that economy as best as he can. Terran just barely manages to hold that engagement with the combination of the Widow Mines and the Liberators saving everything, and the Planetary Fortress. The Planetary Fortress got a really big Baneling shot off. Do see a Liberator moving across the map to be able to harass this mineral line, and we do see some Widow Mines being dropped over here at the new 5th base that has been taken down twice already. Liberator being able to get 13 kills, and now the Zerg is looking to be the one in the worst economic position. Terran able to saturate up this 4th base with a large amount of mules and SCVs in production from all of his efforts, as he's been able to hold on to this 4th base for the very longest of times. Zerg has this paltry army of Lings, Banelings, and an Ultralisk. Do see a couple of Corruptors up in the sky, probably to be able to deal with those Liberators that have been destroying the Zerg's Ultralisks in those engagements. Do see a Widow Mine being shoved off. No, kill it! Oh well, maybe the Widow Mine is going to be able to make it back home. Nope, bye bye Widow Mine. And another Widow Mine here. Ooh, 11 kills on this Widow Mine. Gonna be able to pick up another 2 kills. That is quite annoying. A Terran drop, getting ready to push in to this base on the left side here. Going to find out that there's actually nothing there, and just gonna run down to this base that has the bulk of the Zerg's economy right now. Oh man. Oh no. Are all of the drones gonna go down? Oh. We do see every last... Ooh, there's that one surviving gas drone. But a lot of Zerg's economy does go down from that one drop. Down to 47 harvesters. Bulk of them transferring over to this base. Rest of them, having just finished mining, are going to be sitting around the empty gas geysers, wondering what to do with their lives. More sort of idle back in the 3rd. Terran is going to be able to take his 5th base though. Even more mules being put down, a huge amount of SCVs being transferred over here, and now we see the real differential that the mules can make in a Terran's economy. It's getting 3,000 minerals a second. Now Zerg is the one that's very much behind in the economy. Do see the Corruptors running around the back trying to pick off any Liberators that they can, and see, we don't see any more Liberators on the map, so we can only assume all the Liberators are dead. Oh, another annoying drop, going to be able to do a bit more damage on the left side of the Zerg's map. More drones going down, and right now both sides are reeling for more and more money to be able to max up on an army, to be able to try and kill the other person in this game. But it looks like everyone is sort of just this weird walking like zombie of an economy. Terran is managing to create quite a huge army though compared to Zerg. Zerg is sitting on this quite paltry force, but he will try to see if he could push up into this 5th base. A huge amount of Widow Mines being set up. That's like 10 Widow Mines. And this Terran army is gonna stim forward. Uh-oh, are we gonna see this Ultralisk go down? Getting a lot of damage off on that Ultralisk. Well, all of the Banelings and that Ultralisk are going to die. We do see a couple of Infestors having just killed a good amount of SCVs over here at that 4th base. Let's see who's the MVP. Ooh, 8 kills. 8 kills on the Slayer Infestor. And in the production tab, a huge amount of Infestors are being made. Infestors, very efficient against a Zerg bio army. And more Ultralisks in production in order to try to be able to deal with this. But oh, Terran has such a huge army. Does Zerg have enough to be able to hold off what the Terran is putting forward? The Ultralists and Infestors are going to hatch, but we see the Liberators sieging up here. Marines and Marauders taking the position on the cliff. Ooh, going to lose a couple of Widow Mines, but it will get the shot off and kill a good amount of the Banelings. 5th base being set up again. I guess this is now 6th. It's being set up again over there on the top left side of the map. Terran is ferrying a couple of Marines and Marauders down back into this 5th base in order to see if he could do some damage and pick off any units, maybe perhaps potentially try to take down that hatchery. The entire time Zerg is on the back foot, has to pull back and try to be able to deal with this army here. We do see another Liberator flying across the map to try and harass over here, but seems that flying over the hatchery over at the 6th was not the best of ideas. Zerg will immediately react to that and take it down with the Corruptors. More Corruptors being added on and a Greater Spire being researched by Zerg. So we will see a transition to Broodlords, and that 5th base is going to go down again. I guess we'll just call that base in the upper left. The 5th base now. Ooh, forgetting to unsiege a couple of Liberators. We'll lose one for free. But we do see a healthy economy from Terran, with that one base with a huge amount of mules and the other base with a lot of SCVs, and another base being landed over here as the Terran 6th. Zerg is going to send a couple of lings around. They are going to get scouted by this army of Terran, or perhaps I should say that they will scout the army of Terran moving up toward that left side of the map. We'll have to see what the Terran's response to this will be. He's just going to back off. Figures that since Zerg saw what he was going to do, we'll just hold off on until he thinks he can get a better position, instead of just going where Zerg knows that he is. Zerg pulling back all the Corruptors that were just flying across the map, perhaps to try and harass the 6th base of Terran, going to be transforming into the Broodlords, but we do see Terran trying to set up outside of the 5th base here of Zerg. Zerg finally having gotten at a minimal 2 base economy going, will lose yet another hatchery to this Terran. We do see a couple of Zerglings running around the wrong side of the ramp while getting in position to try to be able to deal with this huge Terran army back here. We do see the Infestors and Corruptors and Broodlords moving forward. Terran didn't see the Broodlords, so we will have to see if the money fungals are going to land and if the Broodlords are going to be able to do any good amount of damage. Broodlords being shot by the Broodlings. The other way around. Broodlings being shot by the Broodlords. Gonna set off a couple of Widow Mines. The Marines and Marauders are gonna stem forward and try to pick off a couple of the Broodlords. Who will manage to take down one, but no additional Broodlords going down. Zerg is looking like he can siege out the Terran in this position, and Terran is just going to have to back off. Couple of Marines and Marauders being left behind, but that doesn't really concern Terran. What concerns Terran is that Zerg is going to push forward with this huge army of his that has a very efficient Infestors, Ultralists, and Broodlords. Going to be pushing forward, taking down any Widow Mines that are in the path. Terran pulling back to that 4th base, going to spread out his army, getting ready for that engagement, but Zerg is going to be running down to this area. Right? Yeah. Zerg is going to run down to this side, make sure that no bases can be put on, so that 5th and 6th are going to be pushed off by the Zerg. Do see a couple of Widow Mines that have killed a total of 9 drones. Well, it looks like they're just gonna rack up an infinite amount of kills. SCVs and mules at that 6th base are going down. Corruptors shooting at this 6th command center. Broodlords shooting at the 5th one. Going to have to see how Terran is going to deal with this. All of the Corruptors in the sky, even more being added onto the Zerg army, going to be able to push forward, kill those 2 command centers, so Terran is being forced back onto 4 base economy. We do see another command center being put down over at that gold, but there are no SCVs to speak of that are following it. And not even a 4 base economy, just 4 bases, 1 barely mining. Do see a couple of SCVs being dropped over at the base, but more importantly, let's see what Terran is doing for this engagement. Vikings have been made in order to deal with those Broodlords, but Zerg is now going to stream forward with those Ultralists and Broodlords. Broodlords doing a lot of damage, Ultralists going ham. Infestors coming in for the fungal support. Ooh, a lot of good fungals being thrown down. Wonder if Zerg doesn't have much army left. All that's left is those 2 Broodlords, but Terran, he's lost a majority of his Marines. Oh, the only thing, a huge block of Marauders getting killed right there. Only thing saving Terran right now is the fact that he had a better ground army, but nothing to deal with these 2 Broodlords in the air, nor these Corruptors that are going over here to try and take down that base. Marauders are going to try and run across the map, maybe take down a couple of the Zerg bases. Zerg has to be mining somewhere. Terran has no idea where. We'll see Marines trying to repair that main base, that final last mining base of Terran. 2 Broodlords sieging that planetary fortress. Marauders coming up through this ramp, going to be hitting the new 5th of Zerg. Forgive me for the cut. Family just walked in. Had to try and reset and find where I was in the replay. Didn't find it exactly, so we're just gonna have to see these Broodlords siege over here and the Corruptors run over and try to spit on that command center again. See the Marauders run way up here to that natural ramp. One of these Broodlords are gonna do it. One of these Corruptors are gonna do it. 1 Viking going to try and repel the Corruptors from killing that last mining base, but Vikings going to be taken down. Zerglings coming up to try and deal with those Marauders, and with 3-3 and adrenal glands, those Marauders don't stand a chance. That command center does go down. More Vikings come out, but this command center is gonna burn out. It's gonna burn out. It burns down. Now we have a block of Corruptors here. Not sure what they're going to be able to do, but this is the last of Terran's forces right here. All of his hopes and dreams lie in the hands of these Marines and Marauders. Zerg, on the other hand, has to rely on all of these Zerglings to be able to do anything. Oh no! Going to lose a huge amount of Zerglings to the Widow Mine shots here. And another Widow Mine being placed down here in the last mining base. I'm going to have to see if Zerg can do anything. Uh-oh. The cooldown's coming off. Uh-oh. No, 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 no. And almost all of the Zerglings going to go down. Overseer finally does come along. We'll kill that last Widow Mine. Zerg going to morph a couple of Banelings here in the corner. More Zerglings in production, and more Zerglings streaming across the map to try and be able to deal with this army. If this army goes down, Zerg wins. Uh-oh. The hatchery does go down, but Zerg finally rolling forward with a couple of Banelings and a couple of Zerglings. We'll have to try and get the good Baneling hits. Ooh, 1 really, really good Baneling hit. And that's gonna be all she wrote for the Terran. Terran no longer has any army to speak of. will be floating a couple of command centers to try and take bases across the map, but it's too little too late. Alright, well, thank you guys for watching. If you did watch, maybe you didn't. And yeah, that was a ladder game that I played, that I tried to cast in the third person perspective, pretending that I didn't know who was playing. And hopefully that was quite the enjoyable game to have watched and witnessed. Go ahead and message me if you want to see a replay or want a download link to the replay or what or what have you. Yeah, bye.